Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hey friends, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here. If it's the first time you're here, welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. This is a podcast and an episode for leaders. And not like someday leaders, because someday is just not a day of the week, but right now leaders. And the conversation we're going to have today is not about quitting. I actually despise the word quitting. It's not about pulling back, and it's definitely not about lowering the bar. But I want to talk about having ambition after burnout, which I don't really love burnout, but what it really means to you when you are one of the people that people look up to. And so why do we feel burnout from time to time, really? Why do we feel exhausted? And because burnout doesn't mean that you stop wanting more. It just means you're no longer leading the way you know that you should. And leaders don't walk away when things get heavy. Leaders, they adapt, they evolve, and they elevate. So if you've been thinking like, I'm tired, I feel like I'm carrying this alone, I don't know if it's worth it, I can't keep doing it at this pace, something has to change, but I know that I'm not done because I really want to build this. I know I'm ready for this. So when you have those thoughts, sometimes it's not weakness. I want you to shift perception. That's leadership awareness. It's being aware that it's time to grow more as a leader. So today, what I want to talk about is how burnout is often the moment that a leader is being called higher, not out. They're not being called out. They're being called higher. So what is burnout? I've been building my business for 20 years. I don't ever know if I've used the term burnout, but I have felt tired. I have felt exhausted. But burnout is often misunderstood. Burnout is not laziness. Burnout is not a lack of discipline. And it's not that you suddenly lost your work ethic. So burnout usually comes from a pattern that goes something like this. You go all in. You push really hard. You're carrying the weight. You're driving the results. And then it's like, oh my gosh, like you crash. You pull back. You disengage just enough to survive. But then you're like, oh my gosh, I know I need to get back in. So you do it again. And then you sprint. And then you recover. And then you sprint harder. And then you recover less. And that cycle doesn't come from weakness. It comes from leading with intensity instead of infrastructure. And most burned out leaders aren't doing too little. They're doing too much personally and not enough strategically. So in other words, if you're the energy, you're the motivator, you're the accountability, you're the closer, you're the problem solver. And here's the truth, leaders don't always want to face, but we need to hear it sometimes. If everything depends on you showing up at full capacity, you haven't yet built leadership. You've built a reliance. And burnout isn't a signal to stop leading. It's a signal that the way you're leading is not scaling. We want to scale. So I want to explain first why resting does not fix burnout. Because a lot of times we think, oh my gosh, if I rest, I just need to rest. I just need to pull back a little. I need to get myself in order. Of course, rest matters. Like we want to be sleeping 8 hours. We want to be praying. We want to be like taking care of our mind. Recovery matters. But rest alone does not fix burnout for leaders. Because if nothing changes with your level of leadership, you rest, then you return, and you're going to feel the same pressure waiting for you. And then eventually you start to ask yourself a question, is this worth it? Can I continue to do it? And if every break you take, you know what happens with every break you take? Momentum slows down, your standard drops, it causes people to wait, it definitely causes confusion, and it causes any progress you've made to stall because you're like all in or nothing. And that's not sustainable leadership. That's you being the system. And leaders cannot be the system forever. Just because it works doesn't mean it duplicates. So burnout happens when results depend on your mood. If you're great today, if you're motivated today, if you're inspired today, you're driving the team. Burnout happens when progress depends on your presence. Now, I'm not saying pull back and go away. That's not what I'm saying. You have to build leaders, okay? If accountability depends on your energy, rest helps your body, but leadership fixes the problem and the cause of the burnout. The real solution isn't stepping away longer. It's building something that runs stronger without you carrying it every single day. So I want you to feel the leader shift from doer to developer. That's our goal. A doer to developer. I say to them, I love my business. I have been in my business for 20 years. I love the company. I love the products. I love the industry. But if my business was just selling products, meaning I'm only going to make money on the products I directly sell, I would not be building my business. I love our products, but my real passion is developing leaders, coaching people to be their best, enrolling new people in my business and helping them build their why, create a life of choices. So that's why I do what I do. And for people to expand their business, this is the defining shift. Every leader reaches a moment where they must choose, do I keep proving how capable I am, or do I build people who can carry this with me? Because burnout often shows up when you're still doing what you used to do, even though the vision has grown, the team has grown, and the responsibility has grown. Your role should change as the organization grows. If you're burnt out, it might be because you are still operating at the level that built the thing to begin with, not the level required to lead it forward. I've seen leaders literally believe they have to be the trainer. Everything has to go through them. They think they're doing it with a good heart. I have watched people not grow their business because of, if I do, it'll be better. I need to control everything. I need to talk to everyone. I need to have my hands in everything. You cannot expand at this level. Leadership at the next level, you want to know what that means? Teaching others to think, not just execute. Letting people struggle productivity. Allowing imperfection while you're helping people develop excellence. It's releasing control in favor of growth. And friends, that's uncomfortable. That's slower at first. That requires patience, but it's the only path that leads to sustainability. Burnout is often the moment you realize I cannot be the entire engine anymore. I want to build engines. I'm a leader. I want to build engines. 2026 is the year you launch your business, the year you transform into an entrepreneur, founder, boss. One powerful move puts the future firmly in your hands. Starting a business with Shopify. Maybe you've got an idea you can't shake, a craft everyone tells you to sell, a store you've already designed in your head. With Shopify, 2026 is when you finally make it happen. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Shopify gives you all the tools to easily build your dream store. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand. Marketing is built in too. Create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. As you grow, Shopify grows with you. Handle more orders, expand to new markets, and do it all from the same dashboard. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/levelup. Go to shopify.com/levelup. That's shopify.com/levelup. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. I want you to understand the power of consistency over intensity, because this is where leaders need to grow that discipline. So many times we think we have to be intense. I've watched incredible people pull back from their greatness and their goals because they think they have to be so intense they don't know if they could do it again. Here's something no one glamorizes. High-level leadership is often repetitive. It is. It's over and over and over and over. It's steady. It's not emotionally driven. Burnout happens when leadership relies on big emotional pushes. Like, I feel great after a conference, great after a podcast, great after a call. Burnout happens when leadership relies on high energy motivation and crisis driven urgency. Like, I got to do it. I got to finish. I got to go to the next level. I got to maintain. Intensity creates movement, and consistency creates trust. Leaders who burn out tend to lead in waves. Big vision talk, big push, then silence. Then another big push. But teams don't thrive in waves. They thrive in rhythm. So I want you to understand what consistency says. Consistency says we show up even when it's quiet. We train when it's not exciting. We stay aligned even when progress feels slow. Your team doesn't need hype. Your team needs reliability. And reliability starts with you regulating how you lead, not how hard you push. And when we think about delegation, it's not letting go, it's leading up. It's leading up. It's teaching people how to lead. Delegation is one of the hardest leadership skills because it challenges your ego and it will challenge control. Delegation is not dumping tasks. It's not, getting rid of responsibility. It's not handing off without clarity. Delegation is intentional development. If you're burnt out, I want you to ask yourself, where am I the bottleneck? What am I holding on to because it's easier? Who could just grow if I were to step back just enough and give them the wings to fly? Every single time you say, it's faster if I do it myself. And so when I think of those things, I don't know the moms out there. When it comes to laundry, it's more efficient if I do it myself. When it comes to dishwasher, it's more efficient if I do it myself. I understand. I understand that sometimes I get burnt out. I'm like, I'm the only one doing things. Everybody in my family is willing to help, but I am a control freak and I like things exactly the way I like it. I'm aware of it. I have not chosen to make a change. I can sustain it in my house because I don't clean. I'm very blessed with a team of people that come to clean. So it's my day-to-day stuff that I'm like, I like the way my laundry is done. So I will do it myself. But I don't do that in my business. So every time you say it's faster if I do it myself, you are choosing short-term relief over long-term leadership. Strong leaders are willing to go slower now to move farther later. Burnout ends when you stop being the hero and start being the builder. Build people, build leaders. And so when you think about ownership, this is your leadership moment. This is, when we talk about leveling up, it's not just about working harder. It's about leveling up your leadership. This is where ownership comes in. Ownership doesn't say, this isn't fair. Ownership says, this is mine to lead. Burnout is not an excuse to disengage with your business or your team. It's an invitation to mature as a leader. So ownership sounds like I need to develop my people better. I'm going to develop my people better. I'm going to create clear expectations. I'm going to follow systems and not be emotional in my leadership. I'm going to model consistency. Your team will only rise as high as the standards that you hold, the leaders you develop, the clarity you provide, and the consistency that you model. This isn't pressure. This is power. Because when you lead well, you don't burn out. You build endurance. And when you're leading your team to the top without breaking again, like that's the goal, to lead your team to the top without breaking again. You do have what it takes. You are ready. You are capable. And so here's some ideas how you as a leader can move forward without repeating the cycle of feeling burnt out. Number one, re-anchor your vision. Everyone should know where you're going clearly and consistently. And I've had people say, like, what if I don't know that yet? Or if I don't want to declare it, then you can't enroll a team to go. You have to re-anchor your vision. Number two, clarify ownership at every single level. Who owns what? Who decides? Who's going to do things? Who are you empowering? Who's executing? Number three, develop leaders, not just performers, because skill without leadership still falls back on you. Number five, follow systems that don't depend on your emotion. Systems duplicate and systems protect energy. Number five, commit to steady leadership. Even when your motivation dips, your motivation will dip. Motivation follows momentum, not the other way around. Leadership is not reactive, it's deliberate. So leaders stay the course. So if this has been you, if you don't know how to get back in, if you don't, if you've declared goals, you haven't met them, you felt tired, you're wondering if you have what it takes, you do. It's time to lead up, not pull back. Leaders don't quit when it gets heavy. They don't disappear when they're tired, and they don't confuse burnout with a calling to stop. They recognize it as a signal to lead smarter, lead stronger, and lead higher. You are not burnt out because you can't handle leadership. You're burnt out because leadership is asking you to evolve. Change is the only constant. Leaders lead. We stay the course, and we bring people to the top together. And so before we end our time today, I want you to hear me really, really clearly. This is not a season to shrink. God gave you the gift of leadership. This is not the season to hesitate. This is the season to live in your word and to show your family, your people, your team, and the people who haven't joined you yet what's possible. This is not the season to wait for permission. This is the season to rise. It's time to show yourself what you're capable of, not when everything is easy, but when leadership is required. It's time to stop questioning whether you have what it takes and start being the evidence of what's possible when someone commits fully. Your team is watching, your future is watching, and whether you realize it or not, someone is waiting for you to lead. You could sit there and justify all you want. They could do it. They don't need me. No. Did you look them in the face and tell them you're leading them to the top? Then let's lean in. And so here's my challenge to you. Lead with intention this week. Raise your standard. Develop one person instead of carrying them. Stay consistent instead of emotional. And move forward even if it feels uncomfortable. Because leaders don't wait for motivation. They move from ownership. So I'm calling on your greatness, and not the version of you that's tired, not the version of you that's doubting, the version of you that knows you were made for more. You were built for more. It's time to rise. It's time to lead, and it's time to show the world what's possible when you decide to go all in the right way. The right way. So thank you for being here. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with another leader who needs this reminder. I'll see you at the top. I love you, friends.